About to go live. What's going on? How you doing? Welcome to the room. April, come up to speak. How you doing? I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Something you told me last week, what I'm doing as a way to kind of just make sure I capture the time. I'm going live on YouTube at the same time I'm going live on Clubhouse just to make sure that I capture the event and can engage maximum amount of people possible. So, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. What's going on? See some good folks coming up. What's going on, Kendrick? How you doing? Absolutely. Good folks in the room. We're going to get started here in a minute. A lot of good stuff to talk about. I see you on the phone, Kenrick. How you doing? I'm live right now on YouTube at the same time. you, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, you on your way. But billions have to follow the millions, right? Absolutely. Yes. Okay, that's use the man. You're right. Pin the YouTube link on the top. Absolutely. I will do that. Absolutely. Just so everybody has it. Um, okay, I see it right now live with the Picasso. I will do it. Give me a second and I will get started. Just want to make sure that everybody sees it. So those of you who want to see, there we go. Excellent. Kenrick, how you doing, brother? I'm blessed, man. Thanks for the support and joining me on the stage. Definitely appreciate it, and definitely looking to engage you guys this evening. A lot of stuff happening. The market is not really doing much, but there's a lot of potential. Why? Because I'm seeing on a regular basis, um, you know, constant engagement in regards to the markets. So definitely check out the markets and understand that there's a lot of different investments out here in these streets. Hi, Dakita, how you doing? Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of wonderful investments in these streets, but not all investments are created equal, right? So when we look at um, all the cryptos that are out here, we really have to really ask what's going on. What's the value proposition? Excuse my sore throat. It's been a hell of a business week. One thing on Martin Luther King Day, I'm telling you, I love to you know do service to my community. You know, really expand business in a lot of wonderful ways. I connected with some really good business prospects down in Raleigh, Durham. Some sisters who are really doing some wonderful things, and it was exciting to connect with them and really stage learn about them, sample their spirits, and set up some wonderful business contracts with them. So on Martin Luther King Day, I had that opportunity to meet these wonderful sisters doing some big things in Raleigh, Durham. and really helping them on their crypto journey to avoid, nonsense and really expose them to the apex asset at a high level. So it was a fun weekend, and as you can tell, I didn't get much sleep, and I definitely had a chance to really provide some value and some wonderful guidance. So that's been amazing. It really has been amazing. And the other thing that I've been doing is I've been gaining a bunch of folks. I've been leading a bunch of different classes, private classes with hedge funds. I have a bunch of hedge funds overseas that they got me waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to consult with them. In Germany, it's been it's been really interesting. So fun times recently. As we're looking at the markets, this is the Trade All Day Crypto Basics Room. My name is Hope Smalling. They call me the Black Picasso. So thank you for joining. Is that my brother Manny? Man, the legend is in the room. I'm blessed. Is that my sister Trina? Is that Trina that Trina from high school? Is that Trina? Hold on, let me take a look at that. It looked like a Trina from high school. Brother Manny. Yes. Oh no. Don't I will let you guys know when I'm coming down. I'm planning to go down there real soon to engage with these sisters. And because what I'm doing is some banking stuff with them. And I'll be there for as long as we need to get their situation set up. These sisters are going to be redeveloping Raleigh Durham. They are on fire, and we're talking like a middle-aged sister and a little older sister, but both of them have super high integrity, and it was amazing to kind of get connect with them, and then because they've had some bad experiences in cryptocurrency. One thing about cryptocurrency, and this is a crypto basics room, so I'm not going to speak around people in this room. This is a family environment, so feel free to come and share and ask questions. That's really what this is all about. And whether you're in Clubhouse or you're live on YouTube, I'm excited to really engage in these kind of ways to really find what's really going to help us to connect to more and more people. So the weekend I spent engaging with these sisters, really building rapport with them, getting them to know what they need, and letting them understand who myself and my brokerage partner Sam are. And it was phenomenal. They engage. I don't know where these professionals are finding people to engage in crypto, but they found some real knuckleheads who really took them for a ride and robbed them, stole money from them. And that's the one thing about cryptocurrency is that you gotta really know who you're dealing with, and because if you can't pick up the phone and talk to them, if these folks can disappear because they're on the other side of the world, maybe you shouldn't be engaging, you know. So I will be in Raleigh, and I'll let you know when I'm down there because I'll definitely come down and engage. We'll probably go to I'll probably go to the local Barnes and Nobles and you know sign some books. I was down in Tampa, Florida recently, doing the same, signing some books and that kind of thing. I donated a bunch of my books to a nonprofit there in North Tampa. So that was awesome. It was just a good feeling to engage my people, and so crypto can really do so much good, when we're looking at cryptocurrency and looking at everything that's happening. The market is stable, but it's not going anywhere right now. It's not getting worse. In fact, um, and I'm just giving you guys the professional side of this. Crypto is only getting stronger. Bitcoin is only getting stronger, and I'll explain what I mean by that. A lot of people, will still look at cryptocurrency and say, you know, how can I look to put in $42,000 in a Bitcoin, for example, and then the next step that people will do will be trying to, go find what would be similar to like penny stocks, right? And that's the wrong move. Why? Because what's going to happen, and this is the thing that, um, hold on one second, Trina. I got your question. In fact, I got good reason to go to Atlanta because today we got a new business partner, and the new business partner is has provided all of the startup capital, millions of dollars to get our NFT platform launched off. And he's a wonderful, wonderful brother by another mother, even though he's not a brother. He's he's a wedren, but this wedren is good people, and he's signing the contract as we speak, and he's in ATL. So Trina, I'll be in ATL soon to break bread with this brother and continue to build the platform. We're doing an NFT platform right now called Fire NFT, and the sky's the limit. By the end of the year, you guys are going to be hearing about Fire NFT everywhere. So stay tuned for that. Really exciting times, and yes, yep. I'll be down in ATL to really sit down with this new business partner and break bread and celebrate. No matter what projection I give for the first year of this NFT platform, everybody's trying to 4 or 5x it. I'm like, I know we could do 20 million the first year. I'm trying to be conservative. Manny, you got to tell them about it. My business partners, man. These guys don't like small numbers. They like 80 million the first year. I'm like, I'm not putting that on paper. We doing it. Yes, yes, April. How you doing? No, no, not at all. Not at all. Of course. Correct. No, 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 no. XRP is a different um, instrument. XRP is an instrument that is only distressed because they have been targeted by the SEC. Meaning, there's no risk with XRP from my vantage point. I really see nothing but an upside coming for XRP. So as we look through this, I really want you to, you know, take what I'm saying with um, with a grain of salt. And when I say that, I'm saying that XRP is one of those assets that has a real use case. All right. So when we think about the use case for XRP, we're talking about an asset that is not fully decentralized because it's going to be centralized. And in that regard, as a centralized asset, banks are going to benefit from that model, right? So there's really a real business proposition behind XRP. And I think, believe it or not, you guys haven't really heard a lot about it, but XRP can do NFTs, right? XRP can really do a lot of real good in the ecosystem because the community behind it is really solid. It's not a decentralized asset, but from my vantage point, it's a decent investment. So no, um, don't take my statements as blanket statements. You know that. However, what I'm sharing with folks is this. there was an interesting commercial that I saw today, and that commercial was talking about. It said, you know what? I understand that you don't want to buy assets like Bitcoin because they're digital. They're a little complicated, and because they're complicated, it might require people to be a little more sophisticated. So it said, go back to gold, physical gold. I don't got no problem with that because, you know, I just so, full disclosure, my brokerage mess with commercial real estate. We mess with physical gold, and Bitcoin and other historical assets as well, right? So we mess with all of those things in terms of brokering deals between buyers and sellers. We'll do it, right? If there's a market for it, why not, right? Um, however, so the commercial went on to say, why don't you just go ahead and trade in your car and go back to a horse? Forget about the computer, go back to the typewriter, right? Just really poking fun at those that always want to back away from those things that are built on technology. So, all of those things being said, we really need to kind of, pay attention to what people are saying, and kind of, extrapolate on that so that you can really know exactly how to plan for the future. Because the wonderful thing about the industry where we are now is there's so many good things that are happening. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see, in hindsight, there was a wonderful article by Kathy Wood, and everybody knows Kathy Wood is the CEO. She's a brazen CEO of ARC Financial, right? And what Kathy Wood did was she reflected on the adoption of Bitcoin in El Salvador, and she said Kathy Wood's statement. She said El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption has doubled how many citizens in El Salvador can access financial services, right? And I'll continue to read her comment. She said, um, the allocating of capital um, will innovate as in this form of innovation will benefit people's lives around the world in the long run, right? And she went on to say, through mobile phone technology, billions of people worldwide have been able to access financial services. So it's an innovation. It's an innovation, but there's risk to this innovation, right? And so we have to kind of take all of these things in stride, and know that just because someone can access cryptocurrency doesn't mean they really should access cryptocurrency, right? Because people who are holding these cryptocurrencies on their phone in the Chivo wallets in El Salvador, you guys know as well as I, anything that's on a mobile phone can be hacked, right? And one of the greatest hacks that may happen, and again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but El Salvador needs to teach these people about cold storage, right? Because if you don't teach these people about cold storage, guess what? I predict a massive transfer of wealth from, places that don't have proper education around crypto, right? So again, for those who are newbies in the room, I want to be clear about what I'm saying. Anything that's connected to the internet when it comes to cryptocurrency is a threat, right? So I want you to really understand that, when we're talking about cryptocurrency, we have to really be aware of what's being discussed. So when we're talking about anything connected to the internet, it's a risk. And if it's not in cold storage, guess what? It could be hacked. I don't know if you guys heard recently, the big crypto exchange, crypto.com, got hacked. Hopefully, you guys heard that recently. Crypto.com got hacked, right? And, and so when we think about this kind of stuff, if it's a crypto exchange and it's connected to the internet, it's at risk, right? So anything like that is a risk. I want you guys to be very, very clear about that. But again, my goal here is not to scare people who are not engaged away from engaging. You know, the only way that you can have any kind of benefit in this market is to engage. You have to engage, and you have to, you know, make sure that you are taking the time to pick winners, right? Put your precious capital into assets that are going to appreciate, right? That's the way that you have to do this, because any other way you're not gonna, you're not going to see benefit. Right now, what's happening is the fact that, people are being very cautious. And in the meantime, you know, on a daily basis, I'm seeing massive acquisitions by banks. Banks are starting to position themselves in this space. And I'm talking international banks. International banks are getting into this space, right? So be very, very, um, concerned when you see there's fear being drummed up in the streets about what's going on. Meanwhile, you see big institutional players acquiring these assets. And this was part of the conversation I had around cryptocurrency with the sisters down in Raleigh. I was talking with them and I was giving them real talk. I was like, listen, you know, the price today is not going to be the price next week. I mean, or even the price next year, right? So, time it has to be factored into what your investment plans are. Again, this is not financial advice, but we also have to kind of understand history and understand investments as well. Um, it's predicted right now that Bitcoin could draw back to as low as like 38. But if Bitcoin draws into anything called a 30, 38, 35, whatever, it's going to take off from there. In fact, that might be the launch pad that really allows it to, regain some steam, especially as we approach March 16th. March 16th is going to be um, the deadline for the government to approve the spot ETFs. That's what we're waiting for, right? We're waiting for easy on ramps so that people can invest and load up capital. That's what this is really all about. Sure, that's right. Sure, sure. So, all right. So that's a great question. So you're absolutely right. MetaMask should scare you to death. Right? I'm just gonna, you know, um, highlight the fact that you're absolutely right. Well, here's the thing. When you expose yourself with MetaMask, you want to make sure that you do everything to make sure your computer is clean, right? So run different scans such as malware bytes. You don't want to use browsers that you're using for daily shopping and things like that. If you haven't really secured your machine, make sure your machine is fully updated with all the security patches and those kind of things, right? Then once you set up your MetaMask and you perform those trades, you want to make sure that you can tie your ledger into your MetaMask. And when you do that, you can essentially prevent someone from easily getting access to those funds. So that's something, if you haven't done so, um, is a good step for you to do, right? And then the goal, as you were saying, in regards to moving from time to wrapped memo, that's that's essentially where you need to be right now. Just allow your asset to appreciate as a wrapped memo and no longer staking it necessarily in the Wonderland dashboard. Um, so again, that's just what is to come around the corner. What's happening with the Wonderland project. Some major partners are stepping up, including Sandbox, a number of capital firms and venture capital firms are really stepping up to the plate. They're getting invested in video games now, as well as other different projects that I think are gonna continue to allow them to grow as a DeFi leader in this space. Does that make sense, April? Well, uh-huh. So wrapping your memo, you don't have to stake anymore in the Wonderland dashboard. You just want to wrap the memo. So this is something that I've been helping hedge funds get into, getting this level of exposure. And the bottom line here is that you want to make sure that um, you have your hardware wallet connected, because your hardware wallet will allow you to defend your assets that are exposed to the internet in hot wallets like MetaMask. So that's the most important thing that you can do right now, is everywhere you can use the hardware wallet to try to interfere. If you can't push it to complete cold storage, this is the best second option that exists out there. So, just if newbies don't get anything else out of what I'm saying right now, because my voice is a little rough, excuse my voice. The best thing you can do is wrap your memos, and when you wrap your memos, now it's going to save you on short-term capital gains tax, and it's going to appreciate like a stock, as opposed to you having to always pulling it out and converting it. That is correct. So in terms of taking it off, you just want to connect your hardware wallet to your MetaMask, and that'll do the trick. All right. So those of you who haven't done so, check it out. It's not that difficult, but it will give you a level of protection that will be helpful. It definitely will shield you from having unnecessary risk. All right. So that's number one. And number two, there's a lot of other exciting things happening in the space. The biggest news that I saw on the horizon was the fact that Intel is planning to make mining chips, right? So what that means is that, watch out. Now, instead of having ASIC mining processing all being manufactured out of China, now America is going to be able to be part of this action, which is just going to help us. We want cheaper, faster ASIC mining chips. This is the way. This is the way to the future, and this is going to help us to really take the market to the next level. So this is exciting. Really, really big news. Really, really big news in the marketplace. And just looking at the market week over week, there's so many things on sale. Ethereum has gone sideways, just like Bitcoin. And when we look at um, anything in the top 10, Cardano is the only thing that had any life this week. Cardano shot up to about 26% appreciation. And it's because, there's some movements happening in Cardano. Cardano was losing so much steam. It went down to like what, 113 or something like that. And now it's shot back up to like 147. I think it hit a high of like 150 or something like that. Still value in that project, but investors get wary when Mr. CEO of Cardano wants to always do everything from an academic perspective and is slow to really pull the trigger on his projects. So we'll see, how who's going to be the winners and losers. We'll really see. But Cardano's still playing number five in the market. So if they can keep doing this, right now their market cap is $49 billion. Not so bad, right, for a fledgling project, but certainly only one of the only green rays of sunshine besides, Binance's, has a little bit of bump, and Terra Luna had a bump, and Dogecoin had a bump this week as well. Both of them had 8% bumps, Terra and Dogecoin. So, the market again is still very, very much sideways, and again, don't let that drive you into fear. Look for buying opportunities, and buy where you're comfortable, and buy at levels that keep you. You don't want to be worried about your investments. If you're going to lose sleep, don't do it. Anything that you're going to lose sleep over is not a good. That's not the kind of investment that you really want to spend your time and your money on. Right now, what you want to do is, you definitely want to make sure that um, you are waiting for dips of the cryptos that you really want to get exposure to, and you really want to make sure you at least have a decent stake on some of these apex assets, so that when they take off, you get a little bit of that appreciation. So, kudos to April for really staking down, doubling down on XRP. There's a lot of value there. There's value in these top 10 tokens, and there's other values throughout the space. Don't sleep on the metaverse. The metaverse is still what this is all about. Don't sleep on NFTs. The NFTs are still in their, you know, early days, but just know that everything is going NFT now, and we're excited because we really want to help people to use NFTs in a way that's going to be really, really exciting for more and more people, as opposed to, limited like it is right now. Right now, there's probably 5,000 people in the marketplace buying NFTs on a daily basis. These guys are buying it, they're flipping it, they're finding deals, and for them, a deal is, you know, $5,000. Manny, come on, man, we got to get your NFTs out here, bro. Come on, man. I hear what you're saying. Taking profits is never a bad word. April. And you're seasoned enough to kind of understand what that means, right? Um, there are some folks that are not as disciplined as you are in regards to, seeing an opportunity for a profit and taking it. But the thing that you really want to pay attention to, when you book that profit, then you have to pay taxes on that. So hopefully you have a charitable renewable trust or an LLC or something where you can, really leverage, to manage your the tax implications, right? So if you need to speak to someone about setting up something like that, let me know. I just got a good reference out of a lawyer to set up trust down in Texas. And if anybody in the room has a good trust attorney, certainly send them my way. I love to support good people, but you definitely want to make sure you have the right structures because the right structures are going to allow you to continue to book profits. And the other thing that I would encourage people to do, and if you need this recommendation as well, I know a few people in the space. If let's say you wanted to get exposure and book profits, you could do so by doing like a self-directed IRA or something like that, where you can book profits into your retirement, and then the tax implications are now all deferred on that profit, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's possible you can take funds that and again, it doesn't have to be a lot. The goal here is not to do the Bill Miller, right? None of us are holding billions of dollars, right? And going to double down on one asset. No, nobody here is that silly, you know. Um, we're going to diversify. We're going to hold physical real estate. We're going to hold other assets that have value so that if times get rough and you need assets, you have them. There's nothing wrong with diversifying. I don't think it's a bad word. I think diversity means that you have sense, right? So diversification is what it's all about, and people who, you know, um, have a problem with diversity, to me, is there's a problem with them. As I share all the time, one of the main problems with cryptocurrency today is the lack of equity, diversity, and inclusion. And as a black man and as the black Picasso, I really look for those opportunities to diversify and to manage risk, as opposed to you know um, swing for the trees and make it a gambling moment. The first time that I feel that my emotion is taking over, I pull back and say, you know what? Let me think about this, right? And make a real rational decision based upon the facts. Because once you have the facts, you can make a good decision. That's what this is all about. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, April, for your support. I appreciate you. I really, really do. There's a lot of exciting days ahead. I'm really looking forward to getting the marketing going. My press release is finished, and it should be launching out to 40, 50 million people hopefully later this week. So just exciting days ahead. I really look forward to continuing to engage people and give them value, and again, the book, as far as the content of the book is concerned, it's really a book that's dedicated to helping folks who are new to the space have some kind of foundation. So it has a built-in glossary, it has the strategy, it really kind of covers a wide scope of the industry. So it has breadth, and as far as strategy, it has depth, right? So a lot of times these books really focus on the philosophy, but don't really give you the strategy, or it focuses on the technical aspects, but doesn't really give you, context. And so, Not that this is perfect, but this is a good book. I can't wait to do volume two. Volume two, this book will be three times the size because there's so much more to add, on all of these different subjects. And by the time I do volume two, there's going to be a lot of sweeping changes in the industry. There's going to be regulation that's really going to, really take everything over. And, just exciting times ahead, really, really exciting times ahead. Sean, what's going on, man? Welcome to the room. I see that. Absolutely. No, no, no. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining. And you see, brother Manny's here, man. We're trying to get Manny some NFTs, man. Yes, we do. Yeah, looking forward to innovating, man. Really, really looking forward to continuing to build in this space. There's a lot more room for our community to gain some of the appreciation in this. And Kenrick, I didn't mean to cut you earlier. I thought you had a question. Hmm. 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 Did you make profit? Are you locking in profit by the conversion? Again, this is not tax advice. Get a tax professional. It's my understanding that once you do that conversion and you lock in the profit, that it's a taxable event. So what you really want to do is figure out ways to shelter because, and again, this is a warning to all my good people in this room. The goal is always to book profit, but you always want to have good shelters for that, right? So don't be afraid to get your profit and pay your taxes. That's the wonderful thing about making money, is that you can contribute to society and those kind of things, but don't pay all your money in taxes. you know if you haven't set up an LLC, set up an LLC. It's not hard to do. LLCs are something that you can set up in a matter of hours, and it shouldn't cost you no big money. It should cost you. This is something that you can do yourself. You can set up an LLC literally in 3, 4 hours, right? And have a business. And the good thing about LLCs, and again, this is not tax advice. The tax that's going to come down to you, especially if it's a multi-member LLC. Let's say you have a partnership or what have you, the multi-member LLC, you'll only pay taxes on those profits that come down to your bank account, right? So LLCs are wonderful structures to kind of hold your profit. Charitable renewable trusts are also really good entities, especially if you want to build for the future. I want to build for those grandkids. That's what this is all about. Really trying to build legacy for the future. And then the last thing, as I was sharing, and I can bring some good people to really talk about, you know, self-directed IRAs. I mean, that's everything, right? So imagine, and retirement accounts, if you balance them well and get a little bit of guidance, you should be doing 10 to 15% a year, without much problems, right? Imagine if you expose that to some Bitcoin appreciation and you start, getting 100% appreciation a year. Wouldn't that benefit your retirement? It's like, it's if it makes money, it makes sense, right? So numbers don't lie. People who are trying to keep you in a box, those are the people you got to watch out for. Now's the time while the market is continuing to give us exposure to these kind of apex assets. Don't let just the Bill Millers of the world get all the profits. We got to get some of this profit too. That's what it is. And then the last example that I'll share with you guys, if you look at you know, different instruments to gain appreciation. The more that you manage them, the more that you book those profits, you're really operating like a family office, or an equity, like a hedge fund. So a hedge fund or an investment office, this is how generational wealth is preserved. So if you see profit, take your profit. There's no problem with taking profit, but just know how to protect the profit. Right. So, if we look at the legacy of the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds, these are folks that, they put their money in trade. They put their money in places like quantum and tier one traders. And these tier one traders make them 3 to 5% a day. That's all they do. You make 3 to 5% a day. How much is that a week? What, 15% per week? You do the math. You keep seeing that appreciation. And they put it in like charitable renewable trust, or any kind of trust like that that allow you to, kind of defer the tax obligation. Come on. I mean, it's it's amazing. It's amazing. So there's all these different wealth preservation strategies. By the time someone has to pay tax, on it, it'll be 10 times the size. You know. No, I mean, that's what this is all about. Just be careful. You know, so that's the wonderful thing about the Wonderland project, is that they recognized a few things. They didn't want the inflation, they didn't want the dilution, and plus, they're one of the teams that really want to show that they're winners. So even in rough times, they want to try to win. And so you got to have a lot of respect for them in terms of just continuing to push, because right now the times are rough, and the times are rough because the market is trying to figure out the direction, right? And don't think that capital is not going to go where capital needs to go in order to make this a banner year. 2022 is rough. It's not that rough. 2020 was rougher than this year. Right? So I don't know where everybody is right now, but for me, 2020 was a rough year, right? 2021 was rough because my mom was sick. 2022 is turning around to be a decent year, and with all the opportunities that are on the table in terms of NFTs and crypto, you know, I'm really hoping that everybody in this room, everyone all the newbies in the sound of my voice, whether you're watching me on YouTube or you're listening live on Clubhouse, I'm hoping that everybody has a wonderful 2022. This is the time. This is the time to really, you know, make a plan to make this a successful year. Don't gamble. Have a plan, have a strategy, whether you're going to go long. And if you're going to go long, choosing the proper um, apex asset to do that with. Of course, I'm encouraging people to double down on their satoshis and dollar cost average, and really hold as much satoshis as you can. My recommendation is 2 to 5 million satoshis. Why? Because this thing is going towards $1 per satoshi. It's going to continue going in that direction, and that's just my recommendation. And people will say, "What is a satoshi?" A satoshi is 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. It's just a fraction of a Bitcoin, right? It's like saying, what a penny is to a dollar. In that kind of comparison. It's just a way that you describe the smallest unit of a Bitcoin. And people don't really understand that philosophy. But guess what? The Bill Millers of the world understand that philosophy, right? And all of the banks around the world understand that philosophy. And not only banks, but nation states, countries are buying Bitcoin and holding it for that exact reason, because they know where we're going, right? So different countries are doing different things. You're going to see them holding, historical assets, doubling down on them, buying large amounts of gold, large amounts of different things. Just like Robert Kiyosaki says, he doubles down on gold, Bitcoin as savings, and he uses the income from real estate and silver as his spending accounts, right? So I really wish that everyone in the sound of my voice, all of the newbies in this room, have similar kind of plans for your portfolio. Expose yourself to some profit this year. Get involved in NFTs. As I shared, we have an NFT platform that's going to be launched. What I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks, continue to come back to this room. I'm going to make sure that we do some NFT drops right here live. So I'll be doing it under the Trade All Day banner, but we're also going to be doing it under the One Crown banner as well. So anytime, hopefully you're following me. If you're not following me, just check for the alerts. And I'm going to be doing some free NFT drops for all those that come through in the coming weeks, just so that you guys can get an NFT, get an NFT, hold it in your portfolio, and watch it grow. And it's going to grow. Why? Because the cost of Ethereum right now is $3,100. So when Ethereum grows, guess what? The NFT value grows. Just so you know. So it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. Mm, okay, sure, nice. I'll connect with her. Connect with me on the back channels, and I'll invite her to come talk. Next week. Guess what? It's tax time, guys. April. What is it? April 18th is the deadline this year. So we all need to start getting our stuff in order. If you have corporations, you're gonna have to start paying your corporation stuff by March. We know the routine. It's that time. It's interesting. Thank you for asking that. Aside from cold storage and good spreadsheets, I love spreadsheets. So I'm a spreadsheet guy. So I'm probably not. There's no easy tool to doing this. I love spreadsheets. So me and spreadsheets, are best friends. And aside from doing that, just being very clear on the places that you have exchanges. The one thing about the cryptocurrency market is that if you forget where you put your stuff, guess what? No one is going to remind you. This is how you do your own private banking. So crypto newbies, you got to make sure that you're keeping detailed records, and your detailed records will help you, right? So whether you're using cold storage devices or you're using specific cold storage techniques, God forbid you're keeping your crypto on exchanges, because if you're doing that, your crypto is at risk. And yes, there's a lot of different exchanges that will say that there's insurance, so that if they get hacked, you won't lose your cryptocurrency. But here's the thing to really keep in mind: um, if you get hacked, the bottom line is, they're going to always say, is it your fault or is it my fault? And if it's their fault, they'll pay for it, because there's times when no one will access the dashboard. But if you get a virus or malware or anything like that, then it's your fault, because your computer was insecure. It's no different than you giving somebody your password. I don't think that their insurance policy will cover you. You're going to have your own insurance policy. And so, just really be very organized in regards to how you engage your crypto assets and how you manage them moving forward. But that's that's really what I wanted to share this evening. And I'm happy to take any questions from anyone in the room. Raise your hand if you want to come and ask a question, or anybody on the stage. I'm seeing more and more, especially for social media this year, I'm seeing more and more where it seems that NFTs are dominating the market much more than Bitcoin. What are your thoughts on that? Well, you know, there's a lot of reasons why NFTs are really the investment of choice, right? So I really believe that yes, NFTs are super popular, and they're what people are doing as we heard last week in this room. Those who were in this room realized, or they heard Bruno talk about making 18,000% profit on his NFT collection. 18,000% profit, right? So NFTs are the new way that it's almost like the new the new gold frontier, right? So because they're so nuanced and because people are making so much money, there's a lot more conversations there. And those 5,000 people, those whales that are engaged, are making money. And anybody who's making money will be talking about it. So you're absolutely right. You know, it's a wonderful time for NFTs. Any other questions? If not, without any further ado, just so I can go get some soup. I have one. Oh, sure, sure. What do you recommend getting Satoshi for? That's a good question. To save, the one thing that you want to save when it comes to Bitcoin are fees. You know, if here's the thing. I want you to be very clear that exchanges are out here to make money. So, a lot of them are, trying to do good business. But I'm telling you, if you go to Coinbase and you buy Bitcoin, many times they're going to lock up your Bitcoin for a period of time, and they're going to charge you fees for that purchase. And then the other part of it, believe it or not, is they make a little fraction of a percent above what the market price is based upon, fast calculations and things. It's called arbitrage. So if it's 43,000, they're going to charge you 43,000 and some pennies, right? Or some dollars if you catch it at the wrong time. So the place that I recommend to get the lowest fees and just continue to stack your satoshis is a place called Swan Bitcoin. If you're interested, I think I can send you a link and give you. I think it's something like $20 or more, just for starting an account there, and something like that. I'll take a look at it and I'll send it to you if you're interested. Yes, please. Thank you. No problem. No, no problem. No problem. Swan Bitcoin, they're in California, and they are backed by a company that I love in this space. They're very safe. It's a trust bank called Prime Trust. It's the same back end that does cold storage for Binance US. So a very, very safe setup. They're built on the payment rails of Prime Trust. And again, I love that company. And because they have such they have air gapped cold storage, meaning literally they're doing it the way that I keep telling you guys to do it, which is get your private keys and engrave them on steel plates with tamper resistant seals, and then putting them in a safe. That's how the most of the wealth of Bitcoin is held. That's how it's held, just so you guys know, right? because and there's many safe, many vaults in the Swiss Alps that are holding billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin fortune, and that's how they do it. So I love Prime Trust being, involved in what Swan Bitcoin is doing, and I'm really excited that they, like to charge people the lowest fees possible, and then you can set it up so that whatever the fee is, let's say their fees are um, $50, you pay that for the whole year, and then they take, like, you could set it up to do $20 a week or $50 a week or whatever you can afford, and then that way you're getting the exposure to a price that's going to be fair. And yes, they get a little bit of appreciation. I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep, their model up, but I really think that they're doing a good service for people. It's a model that I really believe in. Great info. Yep. Absolutely, absolutely. And without any further ado, it's always a pleasure to spend Tuesdays with you guys. And as I said, in coming weeks, look out. I'm going to be opening additional rooms under this brand and then also under One Crown Entertainment. And we're going to use the additional rooms to talk about some of our NFT projects. Even the superstar on the stage named Manny. You guys don't know, Manny is a superstar. I mean, this is like, the next Bruno Mars right here. So watch out for Manny. Too kind, hope. Appreciate you, brother. This is your year, man. So here we go. Big Sean. Yes, sir. One crown all day. Yes, sir. We got some good news to share with you soon. The next day or two. Okay, sounds good. Absolutely. When are you going to start doing the other rooms, Hope? Very soon. Sean and I are gonna come up with a schedule, and we're gonna start probably. We got a crew of about 5 young people, including my 3 sons. Um, another young person by the name of Jelani, and a wonderful young lady by the name of Nikki. And all of those young people, those 5 young people, are about to go crazy on Clubhouse promoting the NFT. So watch out. It's coming. They are young, hungry lions, definitely so. They're ready. Thank you so much for tonight, Hope. A lot of great information. Thank you. No problem. No, thank you. Thank you for again, everybody, for the support, and look out. A lot of good things coming soon, and thank you also for the support on YouTube. I'm trying to you gave me that idea, April. So thank you for the idea of just making sure that I capture things that are going on, and don't want to lose the archive, because sometimes when one of you guys have a great question, and and some of this information is not out there, not readily available. So my goal is just to continue to archive it, and keep pushing it out there. So thank you again, everybody. God bless People everybody. Loving your video on time. Thank you. That was really, really helpful. I saw it. Yeah. And you had a few thousand views on that one. I saw it. I saw it popped off. Yeah, little viral things are happening. you know, Absolutely. No, it starts here with just believe it or not, just even if it's a dozen people in this room, I'm excited. So thank you guys for all your support, and let's keep our community safe, and I'll double down and share all that information I promised with everybody. All right. So God bless, and have a good night, everybody. Have a good night, everybody.